And now for the latest from the Victorian announcement, I'm now joined live by Bill Lang, the Director at Small Business Australia. Bill, thank you for joining me. How big of an impact will this 2-week delay have on small businesses?
Well, it still impacts probably 80,000 plus businesses that are closed for at least 2 weeks. There's been a lot of uncertainty ever since the announcements this morning, Danica, because people are trying to work out, is their business on the list or not on the list, and the full information hasn't been made available. I think we heard one of your colleagues say there was a one-pager of the rules provided to the press briefing today. You know, down here in Victoria, we have a ruler who loves rules, and is a very powerful ruler because there are lots and lots of rules. And just watching you put them up on the screen there and trying to navigate them, you know, is causing a lot of confusion and a lot of concern. So still a lot of uncertainty for many, many small business operators.
And clearly a lot of uncertainty as well as to whether or not they're on that list, as you said, Bill. Overall, though, can these small businesses that aren't allowed to reopen until November 1st, can they even survive another 2 weeks, or will these businesses be plunged further into debt?
Oh, there's no question they're going to be further into debt. And you heard Guy Grossi, not only, you know, is his restaurant and pretty much every restaurant and pub down here in Melbourne going further into debt, but many of their employees also, in terms of meeting their living expenses, are having to, you know, borrow more money. That JobKeeper, you know, may be providing some support, but nowhere near enough support given their cost of living. You know, we sort of look up at New South Wales and we go, why aren't we in New South Wales? The COVID numbers are at the sort of New South Wales level. New South Wales, when they got to this level, you know, been open for months. You know, why can't we get opened? And just more rules, and you know, you can now get together with 10 people in the park. Now, you know, it's great for the hairdressers. They're going to be allowed to open up, and everyone who's a pet owner now, the pet groomers can actually come, you know, out to the front of your house and do it. But what about beauticians? What's the difference between a beautician and a hairdresser? Again, overly complicated, leaving tens of thousands of more businesses, you know, hanging by the thread.
Had there been any consultation between the government and stakeholders like Small Business Australia prior to today's announcement?
Oh, look, a number of the industry groups are regularly being spoken with and very much spoken to with respect to, you know, we're putting the lives first, safety first, but we're not getting any big picture information about the overall health of the state, the overall health of all Victorians. We saw some research come out just yesterday, Danica, that shows in terms of life satisfaction, the most dissatisfied people in the country by more than 400% are Victorians. And I would say small business owners are right in there because many are on the verge of losing everything. Now, the Morgan Research Company's just done some research and they've asked Victorians, they've said, look, if a small business owner has to close, you know, as a result of COVID and the policy to deal with it, you know, should they be fully compensated by the government? And 3/4 of Victorians say yes, but we're not seeing any real action. Even the Premier said yesterday that there's a big state budget coming up, and in the state budget, the healing's going to start for the business community. But the reality is you can't heal a dead business, Danica.
That's a really good point, and it will be fascinating to see exactly what is planned for these businesses when that Victorian budget is released. Bill, we're now 2 months away from Christmas. It's normally a very busy time, of course, for a number of small businesses. What does the trajectory look like now for a number of them?
Well, as every day goes on and the smaller retail businesses can't open up, it's a bigger advantage for the big ones that have got the resources and the funds and big online shops. So every day means more businesses are closer to going to the wall. So again, there's tens of thousands of them, Danica. Like, we need to be open. We need to let our customers come back. We need to see our customers. So as every day goes on, and again, more uncertainty. The Premier said that he'll be looking at the data and reading what the stories are, and then even maybe next weekend there could be other changes. Like we can't plan a day ahead, let alone sort of 3 months ahead.
Is there at all, Bill, a silver lining in today's announcement for businesses? Because we know that they're working up now to this November 1st date. Does that at all come as a slight relief?
Oh, look, I think absolutely that's a positive. And the very fact that people are going to be able to get out and about a bit more and move a longer distance, that's all good news. There's no question that there's some positives there. But we cannot forget the tens of thousands of businesses where they still have major negatives. And again, you know, Guy Grossi raised a very good point. The confidence in the tracing, the testing regime and the tracing system. When we look at some of the stories behind who got tested and when they got tested and how they were traced and tracked, I mean, we keep getting told by the Premier that, you know, you have to tell the truth when the tracers speak to you. Well, I think we need the government to tell us the truth with respect to how all of this is being done, so we can all have the confidence that when that reopening happens, we'll stay reopened.
Bill Lang, appreciate your time. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Danica.